there are grips pulling on everything, kind of, making it look like
That's great.
Wow.
I'm going down.
Hey everybody, AJ and Matt here from HoloNet Marauders for a new series we're doing here on YouTube called Holocade. We're coming up with the name. Matt came up with Holocade. And yeah, we've been playing a lot of older video games, from the 90s and early 2000s leading up to now, Shadows of the Empire and whatnot. And we got to Rebel Assault 2.
The Hidden Empire.
With Rookie 1, Jamison Jones. There he is.
Rookie 1 himself, Jamison Jones.
Not wearing his jumpsuit today, but how's it going, Jamison?
No. I grew out of the jumpsuit.
Let's see. I have some old
There it
photos
is.
here.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Look at that. What a guy.
Rookie 1.
But yeah,
That's so funny.
we picked up this game. We were familiar with it. We picked it up at an old game shop. And we brought it home, popped it into PS1, and Matt and I were loving it. We didn't remember much of the story and whatnot, so the live-action cutscenes and everything was just amazing. We were blown away.
Yeah, like immediately, just like our socks just gone, blown off completely. As soon as we started it up, it was so much fun.
And then, we finished the game. Credits were rolling. We saw Jamison Jones as Rookie 1, and we're like, let's take our shot. Let's reach out to him, see if he wants to come on the show and whatnot. And here you are. Thanks again, so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
So my first question whenever we have a guest, no matter who it is always, how big a Star Wars fan are you? And, what drew you to Star Wars? What was like your favorite Star Wars memory growing up?
Just so you know, I was a huge Star Wars fan. So when I got an opportunity to do this game, I was oh my God, I was beyond thrilled, because I don't know if you know this, but we were using all of the original costumes from the movie.
Yeah,
and each one had like its own guard, and I got to wear a lot of the different uniforms, because at some point during the game I dress up as a stormtrooper, and so we're on a break and I take the helmet off and I'm holding it, and some guy comes up and he's like, "Can I take that for you?" I said, no, I'm fine. He goes, "No, I need to hold that for you."
Oh my God. And you're just like, "No, I want to hold it as long as I can."
I want to hold it. He's like, no, you can't hold it. You can wear it when we're running, but you can't. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
what's funny is when I was a kid, I lived in Germany, and I lived in Germany the year Star Wars came out, and my parents took me to, I think we were in Holland at that point. They took me to see it, and they were playing it in English with Dutch subtitles, because I didn't speak the language, but I spoke English. So we got to go see this movie, and it was one of those like IMAX, like half surround screens that wrapped halfway around the theater. It was the most, oh my God, it was the most magical film experience to date that I've had in my life. And so from that point forward, I was such a big fan. It was like watching it in IMAX or something like that.
I'm jealous. That sounds incredible.
That sounds incredible for your first viewing of it. Yeah,
it was unbelievable. And then I made my parents take me to. We lived in Germany in this little town called Glashütten, and the only theater in that area that played American movies was at the Frankfurt airport. So I made my parents drive me 13 times to the Frankfurt airport to watch that movie again and again and again and again and again. Wow,
that's tremendous. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about the costumes. I know Matt had a question about that in a few, but how did you get the part in Rebel Assault 2? Was it just an audition and you were the best for the part, or how did that go?
What's really funny? I haven't told this story, but I went to the audition, and it was at Lucas Valley Ranch up in what is that, San Rafael, I think it is. And I sat there for an hour and a half, and I was late for something else. And I went up to the receptionist and I said, "I'm so sorry. I just can't stay. I've got to go." And she's like, "No, you can't leave." And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't stay." And so I left. And I thought, well, that one's gone. And I got a call back. I didn't even audition. I got a call back.
How did that work? Just got lucky?
See, it was the guts. It was the guts. They keep you waiting for an hour, and you stand up to them, right? You go up.
You're like, "No, I'm not taking this anymore."
And they're sitting in the back room. And they're saying, "That's rookie one right there."
Yeah, they were like, "This was all an act. That's the guy there."
Yeah.
Wow, that's so. I met, and at that point, I met the director. His name was Hal Barwood, and fantastic guy. We got along so well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such a resume. Like he's worked with Steven Spielberg. He helped write Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And he was a legend in LucasArts too. Like he made a lot of really legendary LucasArts games. A lot of the Indiana Jones games, like Fate of Atlantis, and those. That must have been incredible working with him. I mean,
yeah, it was fantastic because like I was saying earlier, it was like we were making a movie. And it was so cool. He was so specific about everything, the wardrobe, the haircut. He sent me, with a stylist to the hairdresser to get my hair cut a certain way. They had exactly how he wanted it. And he was just right down to every single little detail the way he wanted it. And then, the funny thing about shooting it is it's all blue screen, but a lot of the environments had already been kind of created, the CG environments. And so it was all blue. Of course, now everything's green, right? It was all blue screen. So it was all blue. And then they put a blue piece of tape on the floor and say, "Okay, that's the thing you got to walk around." And then I'd have to walk up some blue steps. And then there was a blue chair I'd have to sit in. It's just, you can't see anything in those Stormtrooper helmets. So, it's amazing. It actually looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, really. Because this game was like the first really large scale live action Lucasfilm production after the original trilogy. Like this was like, they did Caravan of Courage, which was like the Ewok television movies and stuff like that. But this was the big one. They were bringing out costumes from the archives, for crying out loud, like you mentioned earlier. I mean, that's got to be such an incredible feeling. And I can't help but look at how like the prequels were produced and the Star Wars films after, where there was a lot of integration of blue screen and green screen, more so than the original trilogy. I can't help but think that, Rebel Assault 2 was almost like a test run, right? Like you guys were part of like this original run to see how somebody could create these digital sets and integrate blue screen into Star Wars. I mean, you guys really the guinea pigs, I suppose. But,
suppose so, yeah.
Trailblazers.
But in the best way possible, because
trailblazers. I like that.
There we go.
Trailblazers is a better word for that.
Yeah.
But seriously, that must have been so cool. I mean, you already covered the Stormtrooper armor, and that was probably, what would you say, was that your favorite costume, would you say?
I mean, obviously the jumpsuit's far more comfortable, but that was definitely my favorite. Just because of my connection with the original movie. It's such a unique costume, it's such a unique piece of equipment that it was really cool to be able to put that on and to, sort of live out a childhood fantasy,
Yeah.
Totally.
Were the jumpsuits like, did you find out what character maybe from the movies you were wearing the jumpsuit of, or the helmet?
Oh God, no, I don't know. No, that would. I wish I would have asked that now. Let me go back in time.
Dang.
I want to be able to answer that question.
Maybe it was like Wedge Antilles or something. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll say
the Luke Skywalker one was, in a case somewhere. Special case,
I'm sure. Yeah. No, I got an amazing tour by Hal himself around Lucas Valley Ranch. That place is spectacular. And the stuff that's behind glass in every other, it's like you're walking on an old vineyard made at the turn of the century, but inside are all the most state-of-the-art facilities you could ever imagine. And each building has its own theme, which is really cool.
Wow.
I gotta say, I'm getting more jealous as I'm listening to all these stories. I mean, these are really.
One day, Matt. One day.
Yeah, one day maybe.
So a question I had was, have you actually played the game?
Yes.
Okay,
I
there we
have
go.
played it. The guy who created the game, Vince, is it Vince Lee? You guys probably know this more than I do, but
Matt's the
so
research guy. Yeah.
I played the game for about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe longer, and I could never get past the Millennium Falcon going through.
Yep. We had to switch
right
difficulty.
at the very end, I would crash it and kill myself.
It was
So
impossible.
I know it was impossible. I called Vince and I said, Vince, I can't seem to make it through the whole game. Can you just send me a video? And so he played the game and recorded it and sent it to me so that I could see all the footage and everything.
That's great.
But I never made it through the whole thing.
Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, when we got the game, we meet every like 2 weeks, we'll say, and we went to the store, we got the game, we brought it back, and we played up until the Millennium Falcon level. We couldn't beat it. And we went home defeated. We were done. And we came back 2 years later with 2 weeks later with this like new resolve. And we just barely made it by, but that's really funny. Even you had trouble.
Yeah.
Even Rookie One himself had
Even
trouble.
Rookie One himself couldn't make it past the
Falcon
Falcon level.
That makes me feel better. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
that does.
Good.
A question I had about the gameplay. So there's like the shooting levels. That was all live action, right? Of you like up against the pillar and shooting. How does that really work? Because today they have motion capture suits and all that, but
yeah, you know what's so interesting about that? It was in a sense sort of like the trailblazing of motion capture. What they did is they shot me in literally 36 unique positions, and then they did a motion blur to get you from one position to the next.
Wow.
So all those positions are real positions. And I even did some sort of intermittent positions, I think, too, when you go from the stand to the crouch. And then they tried to create they like made a puppet out of those images of me. And then as you're manipulating the game, you're kind of jumping from one of those frames to another.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty groundbreaking for the time. I mean, Matt and I were amazed playing it here in 2021. I can't imagine what it was like playing it for the first time then, especially the flying around levels and everything. It was pretty crazy.
Well, they dubbed it into like 13 different languages, and so just millions of copies of that thing.
One aspect of like filming the gameplay that I really want to know about is the death scenes, because you have a couple of really good death scenes where as soon as you die, you get like this video of you, and it's like a close up of your face, and you're like just dead, like on the ground.
That's right.
Oh my, that must have been fun to film.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I have to say the most fun was the X-wing fighter scene. Maybe not the most fun, just the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting in, again, a blue chair with, everything around me is blue. And then they've mounted the chair and everything that I'm sitting on, and the little like joystick that's supposed to be my, cockpit controls. Everything's sitting on these tires. And then the tires are connected to cables, and basically there are grips pulling on everything, kind of, making it look like I'm
That's great.
Wow.
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Oh my God. That is amazing. I can picture it.
That is funny. That really
it was pretty amazing.
Well, I guess, I don't know if this has already been answered, but I wanted to know what's your favorite story from on set? Like, what is like a memory that really like sticks out to you of something that happened? Or, I mean, obviously like the tour and everything.
Yeah. If you've ever watched the outtakes, I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw a few of them on YouTube. Yeah.
So if you watch the outtakes, this is so vivid in my memory. I was getting off doing something. I had to get like a costume change or something like that, and they were setting up this scene. And Vince, the guy who created the game, was playing the Admiral. Is it Admiral Akbar, the big fish guy?
Yep.
Right, the big fish guy. So he's standing on a ladder, playing the fish guy that they're going to later add in. And I didn't know what was going on. They're running the whole scene and blocking the whole thing. And then they drop me in and they're like, okay, action. And I'm listening to Vince on this ladder do the most ridiculous imitation of Admiral Akbar. And I thought he was punking me. I thought it was a joke, and I could not contain my laughter.
Have identified the attackers as modified B-38 assault starfighters.
I wasn't going to be the one. I was not going to be the one. That was him, not me.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because he was so serious and he was so committed and he was such, a Star Wars fan. But oh my God, his Admiral Akbar is.
So was he the voice for Akbar in the game, or did they get someone else that was just the placeholder?
I think they got somebody else to do it. I think he was just a placeholder for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah. This is all news to me, because in the credits for the game, it says that Admiral Akbar played himself.
Right.
And I had a question prepared. How is it?
How is that
must
possible?
have been a big deal to play alongside Admiral Akbar. I was going to work with him.
How was he?
Yeah. It was very funny.
Are there any lines that maybe you remember today, like off the top of your head from the game, or not really?
Going down.
Well, there we go.
That's a classic.
What's better than that?
That's a great scene. When you're going down, and then you have to climb out of the cockpit, and you have that like doodad in your hand, whatever, like a prop, and you're like scanning the area. That's great.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Right. That's right. And they're like, okay, well, it doesn't look like you're walking in sand. And I go, yeah, because I'm not.
Yeah, right.
Can you just make it harder, like you're walking in sand? I don't know. Hopefully it worked.
No, it did. Like I said.
Yeah. Whatever. The game kind of ends on a cliffhanger. I don't know what happened, but there was no Rebel Assault 3.
I know.
Like, was there any news about that, or it just didn't happen?
That it's funny. It's sort of like, Rookie 1 gets the girl in the end, but then you wonder. I think one of the rules, I don't know if I'm giving away some trade secret.
There it is.
There you go. Nice. God, good time.
Yeah, you get the medal.
The big kiss scene.
That's right. The rule was that you could never kill Darth Vader. And so that, I feel, is like what makes it feel like a cliffhanger. But I don't know. There's part of me that always thought that they would do a third one, and
we
bring everybody back and do it again. Yeah, that would have been fun. Well,
I know they're coming out with they're coming out with Rogue Squadron, the movie. Hopefully, knock on wood, in a couple of years. And hey, I mean, if they come calling for Rookie 1 as to make a cameo, how about that?
I say we do that.
Because I mean,
I'm ready.
These guys, Favreau, Dave Filoni, they're all like us. I mean, they're all Star Wars fans at heart, and they probably played these games growing up too. And I don't know. I feel like if I was in their shoes, I'd be like, "Oh, Rebel Assault 2, like let's call Jamison Jones up to play."
Dude, we got to get Rookie 1 in there.
That would be a funny cameo. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
I'm not kidding. I mean, that would really be incredible.
Yeah,
I'm going down.
Your famous line.
Nobody
we
does
gotta hear it. We have to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, you were on. How long was the whole filming process?
Yeah, that was a weird thing, because I was up in San Francisco doing my master's at the American Conservatory Theater when that all happened, and we had started shooting, and then in the process I had moved back down to LA, and so they had to bring me back up to actually finish the shoot. And I feel like it was 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, it's pretty quick for making a movie, but we're making a video game. So I don't know. I think that was a pretty.
I think all in all, there was
efficient.
About 50 to 55 minutes of footage. I mean, there was.
So that makes sense. It's like a short movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is really cool. I mean, I think you probably would have mentioned this earlier, but did you ever get to meet the big man himself? Did he ever come on set, or did you get close to a chance to meet him? Or
George Lucas?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I didn't meet him there. And I didn't meet him when I went on the tour. I heard him in his office when I was on the tour. It's like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to meet George Lucas. Wow. Didn't happen.
Still.
But my talent agency at the time up in San Francisco, he was big fans of theirs, and he always came to the Christmas party. And so I did eventually get to meet him. I met him at the Christmas party, and it was really cool. He's very quiet and very shy and a bit of a recluse, and so it was awkward because I feel like sometimes I'm like that too. So here are these two guys. I was so excited to meet him, but I had no idea what to say to him. So it was a really impactful moment for me, but I'm sure he was like, oh my God, get rid of this guy.
Oh, he was probably stunned. He got to meet Rookie One himself.
That's right.
He's
like, oh my God, look at this. It's Rookie One.
Exactly.
Is there anyone from the cast that you kind of still keep in touch with, or?
No, there was a guy named Chopper Burnett. Oh my God, that's so weird. I can't remember. I can't believe I just remembered that name. That I kept in touch with for a while. Such a unique name.
Yeah.
Who also moved down to LA shortly after that. But I kept in touch with Hal for a long time, and just such a great guy, and was really helpful with almost a bit of a mentor.
That's great.
For me for a while I was new in LA trying to figure out the whole landscape here. But no, nobody else.
So Hal Barwood's a pretty good.
Hal Barwood,
he's a legend.
I know.
We wanted to
Julie Eccles. I think that's the girl, right? Isn't that her name?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
From the shot, yeah.
There she is.
I have another behind the scenes here.
Oh yeah.
Kind of some blurry photos, and then this was the action shot.
So go back to that previous picture. Go back to the picture of them in the Stormtrooper outfit.
These ones?
Is that the guard with the helmet?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hey, give me that helmet.
You had to give it up.
I want to hold it. Yeah, exactly.
It's
okay,
yeah.
I'll hold it for you. Oh yeah, and those guns, so amazing. I forgot.
Yeah, how was that? I mean, God, authentic props from the films themselves, plucked from the archives.
Super cool.
I mean,
super cool. Yeah,
I was floored when I read that. I was reading into the game, and they talking about actually taking like props from the movies, and nothing was really made for the game.
No, they just went and raided the archive. I mean, I was standing there. I didn't have any scenes with him, but I was standing there with the Darth Vader costume.
The actual real
Darth
Vader
Darth Vader costume. I mean, talk about a costume you want to put on for a minute.
Yeah,
I wasn't tall enough, but still.
There are very few people who are, I would say.
That's right. That's right.
Really.
But yeah, that was really pretty awe-inspiring.
I like how, there was like kind of multiple endings. Matt and I ended up playing it on easy because we were struggling. And I like how there was, if you played on hard, you get a medal or something. And then
there's different endings depending on which difficulty you play.
Yeah.
So you get like a little pin, you get like a bigger pin if you play medium mode, and then like a medal, and like there's like a bigger thing. And obviously, the whole game, you're trying to steal this stealth TIE fighter model, and it blows up at the end. It self-destructs at the end.
Right.
The perfect opportunity to bring it back for a third one, because really, I mean, you guys just discovered this thing. It blows itself up. You guys got to go back and get a new one. But really, I mean, very few characters get to blow Darth Vader out of the sky. You didn't kill him, obviously, but you destroyed, his whole facility, and that must have been cool. You'll always have that.
I'll always have that. Yeah.
Little box ticked on your checklist of things. You've played a Star Wars character that got to blow Darth Vader out of the sky.
That's right. Yeah, that was pretty spectacular.
Were there any like souvenirs that you got to keep from the thing? I know a lot of them were from the original trilogy, so probably not. But was there any memento or anything they gave you?
No, I wish there was, because man, I would love to have something like that.
Nothing you snuck, you can tell.
Nothing I snuck out. God, I wish I could have. The thing I really wanted was going through the Lucas Valley Ranch just outside of George Lucas's office. There's this glass case, and there's one of the original lightsabers laying in there. I was like, that's splendid. reach in and take that one out of there.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Let
Right.
Jamison Jones take the original lightsaber home.
Right.
Yeah,
of
come
course.
on, come on.
Of all people, it should
Come
be
on.
me.
Really? Honestly. Oh man.
So did you ever think, like back then, did you ever think Star Wars would become what it is now? You know, Disney now owns Lucasfilm, and there's all these TV shows and, you know, a new trilogy and, you know, stuff like that. We have a Boba Fett show coming. Did you ever think it would get to where it is now?
I didn't imagine that it would ever get to that. I remember my mom telling me, keep taking me till I can't walk anymore, and then bring me in my wheelchair. I don't want to miss any of these. Right? So, and she's now 80 and still loves to go see them. But
That's amazing.
It is a little. I don't know. Look, I love them all, and I've enjoyed all the movies for different reasons. There's something I have a real connection just from my childhood, to the originals.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that I don't have to the newer ones. I'm drawn to the stories and the characters in those more so.
For sure.
There's something about it that's just it's a little maybe perhaps diffused at this point, where we're kind of spreading everything so thin that's like as soon as we find out they're Star Wars fans, we want to please every single one of them, and so we make so many different things about them, TV shows and movies and games and all this stuff. And that's okay. It's just, I have a real connection to the originals and Han Solo. That was fun to see Han Solo come back. I loved that.
Yeah.
That was,
really, the original trilogy, this self-contained 3 films, with this implied billions of stories that were set around them. But the 3 films, I mean, there really isn't anything that compares. The original trilogy will always be on a pedestal higher than everything else in terms of, a lot of fan admiration. And it also comes down to what you mentioned earlier, what you grew up with. You always have a soft spot and a nostalgia for the movies you watched in theaters. I grew up with the prequels. I have a super soft spot for those films because I saw the Phantom Menace in theaters when I was 4. That was like the biggest that like blew my mind, right? I mean, so you'll always have that connection. But when it comes to the new stuff, I'm curious if you know really anything about the production, about these new TV shows and the volume and all that. And do you ever get like jealous looking at like the fact that they have these screens, these 360 screens, not unlike how you saw A New Hope, projected all around the actors, projecting the scenery around them so that there's no longer just blue tape that you have to walk around, or
I know,
grips standing around with ropes tugging you in a cockpit. There's like, you can actually see what you're interacting with.
That is pretty amazing. I would love to experience that. That would be spectacular.
Yeah, I think it's always funny seeing, the actors who are part of the more practical side of Star Wars looking at the new kind of digital side of Star Wars and being jealous. Anthony Daniels has the famous quote where he yells at Alan Tudyk, who played K2SO in Rogue One, and he was just dressed in motion capture stuff. And of course, Anthony Daniels had to dress as 3PO in 100-degree weather, and he's always he's yelling at him, going, "You don't know how good you have it." And I almost get a sense of that from the stories that you tell. You guys don't know how good you have it.
You guys don't know how good you have it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting point you bring up, because I did this horror movie a couple years ago called The Wretched that came out. It came out during the pandemic. It was like the hit of the pandemic. It was
there you go
in drive-in movie theaters. It was like, quote unquote #1 at the box office for 6 weeks. But
nice. There you go.
Cool.
We had shot this for 5 weeks in upstate Michigan, and the special effects guy was, special effects makeup was all about practical stuff, and he's one of the best in the business, and he happened to be friends with the directors and came up and did this movie. And I just have to say, watching that movie, seeing the practical effects, having been there to experience them, there's something really unique and special about the way that those things feel to me a little bit more real. than all the CGI stuff. And there's no doubt that I'm sure in post they enhanced some of that. But it's really, there's this one scene where there's like creature that lives inside other people. And this one scene where like I hit this character with a shovel and break her neck. You see the hand reach up from under the skin and break the neck back the other way. And I'm like, they did all of that practically. And it was so amazing.
That's creative imagery. I really like that.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, practical effects. There's nothing beats those, you know.
Yeah.
They used blue screen in the original trilogy, but really, I mean, all the models and practical effects that they had in that were just
the models, are
so
those. Amazing. Yeah.
And again, you know, the prequels had like clone armor, and their big thing was that they never actually produced any physical clone armor. It was all done in computers. They have no like actual model clone armor that somebody wore. And you would have never gotten that experience if that was true for stormtroopers. Being able to wear the armor, you know, having it physically there, having the guards, you know, looming over you and making sure that you don't scuff it up or try to steal anything. You know,
steal the helmet.
It's something I want to say like magical about just having the actual prop or the actual costume on you.
Yeah.
You know, so again, just totally seething with jealousy at all of your amazing stories. Because really, I mean, they are. I mean,
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to be a part of it at the time.
Yeah, I mean, we said it already, but that was our favorite thing we sort of learned about this game is that they used the original props and original costumes. And you know, I'm a big Star Wars cosplayer myself, so I'm always looking at the screen accuracy of costumes and stuff. So that you actually got to wear the costumes is just amazing. So
yeah,
you know, we were blown away. But
yeah, very cool.
You talked about other projects you worked on. I guess maybe as we might close up here a little, what, you know, it's not every day we have an actor on. What's your favorite project that you've worked on as an actor?
Yeah.
Well, that's a tough question because there are so many. I try to do as much of everything as I can. You know, TV is the real bread and butter. Sometimes the film projects are more fun. They're more, I guess maybe I should say they're more sort of unique because it's almost like there's this little group of people that become a bit of a family for 5 or 6 weeks that create this one single thing that will never be done again, as opposed to a lot of times television can feel like a train running. You jump on, you jump off, and there's a time and a deadline and a schedule, and it's something that just kind of keeps going with or without you. So there's something really special and unique about working on a film project. And I also do a fair amount of theater, and those are special and unique because theater is the training ground for actors. It's where you understand the relationship between character and audience, and where you understand where something is funny and where you've got the audience in the palm of your hand. You don't really learn that when you're on camera as an actor. You learn it on stage, and then you take that experience with you as you move to on camera work. And there's something unique and special about being on camera too, because, you know, in that close up, the audience is now like, they're inside your head. You don't have to present it to them across the proscenium arch. They're just right there with you. But I think one of the most fun was that film I mentioned, The Wretched. I never shoot anything anywhere near anyone I ever know. And this movie was up in, you know, northern Michigan, up there for all you Michigan people. It was up there in the mitten, at the tip of the pinky. And everybody I know, my whole family lives about 20 minutes from there. So I had people visiting me on set every day.
So you're originally from Michigan?
Yeah.
And you were filming home. Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been great.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That is.
And, you know, Michigan is God, one of the most beautiful places in the country for about 3 months out of the year. And then it's just like a, you know, frozen wasteland. But it's we were there during some of the most beautiful times, and I had this great little cottage right on the lake, and I was just having the time of my life making that movie.
That's great.
I'll have to be sure to check that out because you had me sold on the hand coming up and
I know.
snapping.
I hope I
sounds
didn't ruin
crazy.
anything.
No, hey,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's like trailer material. I want to see that.
Yeah,
I
Matt's the
wanna see
big
movie just for
horror
that.
fan. I'm
Yeah,
too much of a baby, but maybe I'll give it a watch with him.
Yeah, give it a
just
watch.
for you.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check it out. But Matt, you got anything else or?
No, I mean, thank you so much for, you gave us a really comprehensive look at how things were run, how this was filmed. This little piece of Star Wars history, just kind of tucked away that a lot of people find, when they go to a GameStop now or something, and find like a PS1 game sitting on the shelf, going like, "What's this?" And taking it home and just, whoa! I mean, that's what Star Wars is, and it's so. Thank you for giving us such an enthusiastic look into it too, because really, I mean, the best people to interview are the people who love what they do, and you clearly love what you do. And like I said, you're a Star Wars fan. So again,
I think that's the icing on the cake is that you're a fan of something and then you get to participate in it. Even in a small way like that, it's pretty special. I remember working on this TV show once, and the second AD was just kind of abrupt and a little bit curt, especially in all of our correspondences. He's very busy getting his stuff done. And I show up on set and he goes, he like got still for a second and his eyes went wide and he became like a child. He goes, "Holy shit, you're rookie one."
Hey, that would have been me.
Honestly, really, I mean, oh man, there's got to be no better feeling than that. Yeah, really.
I mean,
it was awesome. I was like, "Oh my god, yes, I am. I'm rookie one."
There are these people. I mean, there's probably a niche group of people out there that loved that game so much, and it meant a lot to them. There's always some piece of Star Wars is always someone's favorite piece of Star Wars in a way.
That's the thing about this franchise specifically, is that every piece of media is celebrated by someone. So whenever you're involved in Star Wars, you'll always have fans. You'll always have somebody who's looking at what you did and saying like, "That was awesome."
Exactly.
Right.
That random Saturday, that was us. Sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is awesome."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
Thank you so much, Jamison, for joining us on our show. Maybe we could get you on again some other time to talk about, anything in Star Wars. Talk about the originals or something like that. But we'd love to have you on again.
Well, I'll come back on after I take your idea and call Jon Favreau and see if he can get a cameo of Rookie One.
Go
in the next movie.
I'm praying for it. I want it to happen.
Me too. I want it to happen more than anything. That'd be great.
Yeah,
it would be amazing.
That would be fantastic. And to work with Jon Favreau.
Yeah. But this has been the HoloNet Marauders Holocade series that we're doing, playing old video games, and not always talking to the actors from them, but today we got to.
Yeah.
And you can find us at HoloNet Marauder on Twitter, or at HoloNet Marauders on Instagram, and HoloNet Marauders on YouTube, and all that good stuff. But thanks again. Thanks, Jamison. Thanks, Matt. May the Force be with you, everyone.
May the Force be with you.
Rookie One, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. Report to Ops. May the Force be with you.